So I bring to you Nikoleta, Kayya, Mega. First of all, before I even welcome you, I can't go through calling you Nikoleta, Kayya, Mega. So what should I address you as? Agent K, Kayya, or just K?
Just K is fine.
Just K is fine. Thank you so much for coming today and being part of the Inner Shift, where we get a glimpse into your generation. Okay, so you have a very multicultural background and a very global outlook, right?
Yeah.
So, how has your identity shaped the way you see the world today?
I think that mainly because I'm part Indian and part Greek, it's opened my eyes to cultural differences and the way that, okay, especially I grew up in India. So when I went to Greece and I experienced the culture there with my family there, I realized that, oh, this is a very Indian thing to say, or oh, this is a very Indian thing to do. Versus if I spoke to my friends back home, they were like, no, everybody does this. And that's something that with time and as like people travel, they'll realize. I realized it much younger, but yeah.
Yeah, I think we all have seen the big Greek wedding.
Yes.
And I think there are a lot of similarities between the cultures, right? And
There are.
I mean, you've experienced it firsthand, but I think we've all seen that they're also very family oriented, a lot of family, the togetherness, sense of togetherness. And I think that is true. So you must have seen a lot of that, right? Growing
Yes,
up?
I did.
Okay, now when you look back at your early years, what were the influences, people, places that shaped, this individual that you have become today?
For me, a huge part of my life was mom because single mom's child and being also the only child, it was chaotic, but great because she's someone I aspire to be. And I think both Greece and India have taught me a lot, especially Mumbai, because it teaches you how to live in a hustle, like in a extremely chaotic place, but you find your peace somehow. Versus Athens was very slow paced. So I learned how to find a balance between the two, traveling to both places back and forth all the time.
Which feels more like home?
That's a tough question. I am a water baby. So whenever I feel peace, it's always going to be the ocean in Athens. Because
Bombay ke sea ko kya hua bhai?
You can't swim there.
That is so true. That is
You can't swim there. I mean, water baby to the point where I go swim. I will be lost for hours just swimming. I have managed to swim from one island to the other.
Wow.
Yeah, my mom lost me for an hour and I just swam back and forth.
You're kidding me.
This was when I went for my graduation.
Oh my God. Oh my God. Poor mom. Poor mom. I'm sure you gave her nightmares. Right? I mean, I was in Greece for the summer. Of course, I absolutely fell in love with Mykonos, with Athens also. The wine. Oh my God.
Yes.
The tomatoes.
Yes, the produce.
The produce. I mean, I don't eat tomatoes, but all I was eating was the Greek salad with the cucumbers, the tomatoes, the onions, and the feta.
Yep.
And with that, wherever you went, they give you the most delicious bread, freshly baked hot bread. And then they brought out the locally made wine. And I was like, I'm in heaven. I don't need to go anywhere else. I'm in heaven. So I can imagine. So yeah, I think I would say home is Greece. I'm not Greek, but home is Greece. Take me back with you when you go next time. Okay. Let's get back to this.
Yes.
What drew you into the world of communication and wellness? Now, you're someone at this young an age who's been in the wellness community, doing work with wellness already. So what drew you? Was there a defining moment where you were like, this is what I want to do?
There was actually. So I was in college. This was about 4 years ago.
And just to let the audience know, she was in college in Greece.
Yes.
Continue.
I was helping out for an event that our wellness center had organized. And it was a chakra balancing session. So I helped set up. And the instructor told me, okay, you know what, just stay back, see how you feel, and like join us. And that was the first day where I actually realized how energy can affect you. And that was something where I was like, okay, you know what? I want to do this. And like, I saw how people respond to it. And then I started working with her. So the next semester, I went to her and I was like, can I work with you? And she's like, yeah, sure. So I started work. I was working with her throughout my college. And it was just great because wellness, I think, is misunderstood. But if you explain it and if you, I would say, put it in the right words, then it's a beautiful thing.
What is wellness to you?
To me, wellness is peace, is finding your balance, finding a voice for yourself.
You literally took the words out of my mouth. So when I asked you the question, that's exactly what went through my mind. That if someone asked me, as a practitioner of wellness, as an advocate of wellness, what does wellness mean to me? And I would say it's the moment of peace. It's the moment of clarity, a moment of stillness. So beautifully put. She seems to be way more mature for her age, which brings me to the next question. As someone who belongs to Gen Z, right? How do you see your generation's relationship with wellness?
I think that we're becoming more accepting and knowledgeable about it because, one, we're voicing our opinions more and we're understanding that it is important to take a break. It is important to just pause because...
She says all the right words.
But because personally, amongst me and my friend group, I've realized that we've seen our parents rush around so much. We've seen them, okay, we need to get this done. We need to get this done. Where are we going to go next? Versus we've realized how to say, okay, you know what? There is tomorrow. Take a breath. And I think that's important. And that's, I think, the perspective that the Gen Z would have.
Which, in a way is very, very pertinent in today's life, in today's crazy life. But it's also a generation which has been called very entitled. So do you think that, I like the smile, do you think that, taking this pause, people hide behind it as an excuse for just not doing something?
Some yes, some no. I mean,
but I think that's always, right?
Yeah,
that's
but
always.
I think that it's just that our struggles are different generationally because it's not that the problems we're talking about now didn't exist before. They did. But it's just that we are becoming more open to voicing them out and saying that, no, you know what? For example, even mental illnesses. A lot of people get upset and they're like, why is this generation all about these issues?
It's also called the sissy generation, that they're running to therapists for everything. Yes.
Yeah, but my perspective to this is that therapy is important for everyone.
I love you.
Yeah, because therapy is not that, oh, you have a problem and it needs to be fixed. It's that just you're getting another perspective. You're talking to someone who's skilled and who knows that, okay, you know what? When your brain is overwhelmed, this is how you calm it down. Or this is what you can do to fix what issues you have, not in a way where, I would say the easiest thing would be like, okay, you're super overwhelmed and like you want someone to say that, okay, listen, you're overthinking this. That's the job of a therapist. Versus sometimes when you talk to people who you are close to, they'll have a bias.
Of course.
The therapist is someone who's going to be unbiased and help you solve what needs to be done. So it's not a bad thing. Therapy is not a bad thing.
I think everyone needs a therapist. Everybody needs that, unbiased third opinion to just give a different perspective. I know I'm guilty also as a parent at times if my child comes to me, and how much ever you try, right? You're busy, you're doing something, and your child comes to you and says something, and you're like, stop overreacting. We tend to at times overlook the deeper meaning. So, I mean, as I said, I myself have been guilty of it until I pause. It just, I may say that, and then I'm like, hang on a minute. What did it take for my child to come to me and say this to me? So I need to sit down and I need to listen.
Yeah.
Most of us don't listen, right? So I'm very happy to see schools today, colleges today have counselors.
Yeah.
I don't know how open children are to go to them, but it's what is alarming is the number of suicide cases in young adults and in children, which is coming up, which just means that yes, we're in a space, we're in a generation where these issues are coming to a head. You earlier said that maybe you guys are voicing the things, the problems did exist earlier, but I think your pressures are also different. The social media pressures,
Yes,
the pressure of keeping up. I remember when we were children, it wasn't as bad. Today, everything is judged, right?
Yeah.
So, which brings me to my next question. You've partly answered it, but I would like to talk about that. That what do you feel today's youth are getting right about mental health? And what are they still trying to struggle with? So, yeah, reaching out for help, some of us, that's, I feel, what they're getting right. What do you think you guys are still struggling with?
I think we're struggling with the importance of what it is, because some people use the word, for example, depressed, just because they're very sad, which negates the entire meaning. Versus someone who's very easily distracted, they'll say, oh, I have ADHD. That is not the correct way. You go get yourself diagnosed, you go speak to a professional, and you figure your way out from there. Like that, I think, is something that we're getting wrong. And that's why a lot of people are getting upset, and they're saying, bringing back to the point that I mentioned, where people think that everyone has an issue and we're just weak. That's exactly why, because we're using the terms too loosely, which is something that I would say refrain from.
Go to a professional, get it diagnosed,
Exactly.
treat it the right way. Do you think, I mean, we've struggled for years, and I still see that, that mental health is a taboo subject. People still are hesitant to even talk about mental health, to say that they have an issue. Despite the openness, despite how you people are now talking more about it. Now we have people Googling on ChatGPT and all AI, these are my symptoms. And do you think that this bias, this negative bias still exists about someone who reaches out and is seeing a therapist?
It's in some cultures, yes. Like I have noticed it in India more than, for example, in Europe. Because when I traveled and when I was studying in Greece as well, they are more open and they are more conscious about what they say and how they behave. Versus here, the culture is that society has shaped in a way where we don't really respond well to someone saying that
I'm seeing a therapist.
Not even seeing a therapist, also that, oh, you can't really approach your friend and say, listen, I have anxiety. They'll just be like, you're overreacting, you're overthinking this. Everyone has it. Why are you complaining about it? Versus when I was in college, and if someone came to like our friend group and be like, I have anxiety, the first thought would be, oh, have you done something about it? Oh, I know this guy, you can speak to this person. Or this is what helped me. Or I know someone else who has it. Just the approach to that, I think people have to realize and become more open and sensitive. That is something that Indian culture is not used to yet.
The compassion and the empathy towards others.
Yes.
So she's already answered what I was going to ask her next. What do you think is missing and what can you do? So what do you think your generation needs to do to build that compassion and empathy? I see it in the generation after you. I mean, I had an 8-year-old who spoke about that she wanted to join her student council because she saw her friend being bullied and she wanted to speak up about it and do something about it. So an 8-year-old, it gave me a lot of hope for our coming generations. But what do you think your generation needs to do to build that empathy and that compassion?
Listen. That's just all I'm going to say. Listen.
How beautiful. That is, please listen. We all just are listening to respond. We don't really hear the other person. And at times, if someone's coming to you with a problem, they're not looking for a solution. They're just looking for a sympathetic ear, just for someone to hear them, to listen to what they have to say. So spare that 5 minutes. That next Instagram reel or story can wait, but be a friend. That is, I think, something which is very, very important. With wise words from a young girl, really appreciate that. Moving on, there's a lot of talk about aesthetic wellness over real inner work. How do young people truly differentiate between authenticity and performative self-care? I mean, we're in a generation, as I said, where now the new big thing is coffee raves or bhajan clubbing, or do you think it's a fad? Do you think this is just aesthetic wellness, or do you think this actually there is some good inner self-care in this as well?
I would say wellness to each person is different. And if it works for you, it works for you, right? But I just think personally, they're mixing too many things. Like, how will a rave and cough? It's almost like saying that, okay, I can't party at night, so I'm going to go party in the morning. I mean, that's my perspective.
Thank God I didn't say it. I cannot be blamed for this.
No, but if it works, then it works. Like, maybe because of that's their way of making society accept what they like. So there are people that I know who have gone and they've joined bhajan clubs, like where they actually perform and they go on tours with like a mandir or something. Maybe these are these people who want to be still cool in front of their friends and they want to still be part of the holistic energy that they feel when they sing hymns. And maybe that's what their version is. And it's trying to find a balance. Personally, not my thing, but if it works, it works.
I asked my daughter, I told her, I said, you sing, and this seems to be really trending. So why don't you join me and we should start something? She just looked at me as if I'd lost my mind. And she said, no, because it's not me. I wouldn't be authentic if I was doing that. Now, you have those kind of people as well. And then you will always, but I think that's true about any generation. You will always have people who will just follow a trend.
Yeah.
I mean, ISKCON and Hare Rama, Hare Krishna Mission, they've always been around. Do you think just adding those beats and those, the cooler aspect has appealed to your generation?
I think it has. Like, to some extent,
more accessible? Huh?
It's not only accessible, I would say it's also become more relevant. Like, because it's the kind of music we listen to. It's the music that we grew up listening to. And then if you're trying, it's almost like saying that, okay, for example, spirituality is not one form. There are different forms of spirituality. It's the same way that these bhajans or these coffee raves, there are different versions to it. And you can maybe choose this one. God's not one, Prayer is prayer in any form or way.
So you think there is authenticity in it as well?
Yes.
Perfect. Beautiful. What is one emotional challenge you feel young adults carry silently today? Any emotional challenge?
Always being judged. Because social media is out there and you always see the greener side of a person's personality. Nobody will post about that, oh, I had a very hard day.
And because nobody is interested in seeing that. Yeah.
And you always tend to compare yourself. And that is something that, and you always have that fear that, oh, he has a better life than me. If he finds out about mine, he wouldn't want to be my friend again. Or I wouldn't be accepted in society because my life's not as green.
So you feel there's a constant pressure for everything to look perfect, to be accepted. Wow, that's tough. Like always having a mask on, literally, right?
Yeah.
I think that is why also there is so much of mental health issues in your generation, because there's so much pressure.
Yeah.
Right? I was speaking to somebody the other day, your age or maybe a couple of years older, and she was like, oh, they were talking about Aryan Khan and his case and how he was being targeted and he was just living his life. And I said, but wait a minute, there is a little different perspective to it as well. When you are part of, you can say Bollywood royalty in such or the film royalty, whatever you have, when you're a certain social figure, there is a responsibility. There is a responsibility. Fine. He was being a kid. He was doing whatever. He was targeted. I'm not taking away from that. He was targeted, right? For whatever reason. But do you feel that there is a certain amount of responsibility also that you have to take for your own self, like being part, like being your mother's daughter, you have a certain responsibility towards upholding her values, her reputation, or if you're in the public eye, to behave responsibly?
Yes, you do. You always do. But then at the same time, I would say that social media has taken away the freedom that everyone has. You're always going to be watched. Everything's out there to see. So you can never make a mistake. And the moment you slip up, it's going to be caught. And that is what's going to be shown. It's never going to show that, oh, but he did this to fix it. No. It's always going to be, but you made this mistake. And it'll never let you forget that. That is something that I would say you have to either accept it, that, okay, you know what, it's happened. And the people who really are in your circle or know you personally, they will be like, okay, you know what,
doesn't matter.
It doesn't matter, yeah.
Or whatever.
But
or then you become a rebel like Ori.
Yeah, who is also behind bars now.
Oh, well, let's not get into that. But this is your world, the social media. You are in social media communication and all of that. So you create content, you design communication, you live in that constant digital space. How do you personally maintain that emotional balance in this world of constant scrolling and this constant pressure? How do you do that?
I put my phone away. I don't really like my personal account. I don't usually post. I've kept it very personal. I like being offline more than online. I would rather go grab a coffee with a friend than sit and scroll on my phone. I would rather use digital, like I'm in a long distance relationship. So I would rather sit on FaceTime and actually talk to him than sit down and look at, oh, what is this person up to? Or what is that person up to?
But then you're the minority, na? Majority of people. But do you think also because you are more mindful, you are into wellness and the social space, the digital space is your workspace. Do you think that is why you're like that? Or do you think people are becoming more like that?
No, I think that's just me.
That's just you, no? That's just that you're the minority.
Yeah. I mean, people around me, I know that their break is actually being on Instagram and scrolling. But I just think that's the new way of life. If that is wellness to them, then that is wellness. Like, if to me, wellness is all about just being able to recharge yourself. And if that helps them recharge, then it does.
Trust me, that is not recharging. That is draining. That is draining to a different degree. I have been guilty again at times at night where I'm just aimlessly scrolling till my eyes are so tired. I'm not even absorbing anything. Just doing it just to, okay, fine. I need to shut my mind down. So, I'm just scrolling through that. So, but I'm trying to make a conscious change. And I do that. I only put my phone aside, I meditate, and I go to bed. So yeah, we need to make that change. Do you think social media has made mental health more accessible, or do you think it has complicated it?
I think it's complicated it.
Give me some,
going back to what I said, it's because social media, they try to say that, oh, this is what you can do to fix it. There are some that are authentic, and there are some that are just doing it because they know that, okay, they're going to get a reach from it, or they're going to, like, someone's going to respond somehow. And using terminology and trying to
The hooks, the clickbait.
Yes. But also in another sense that because you're constantly judged and you're constantly in that phase of, oh my God, why is my life not like that? I think it's partly the reason why a lot of people have mental issues. It's not really helping.
They can't differentiate between what's real online and what is just seen. I was seeing it was a meme, but it made so much sense about this social media influencer who was showing that she was always on holiday and whatever, and it was actually studio shoots. It wasn't that she was actually, but someone, young minds can be very impressionable, and especially if you're vulnerable and you're looking at that and you're saying, oh my God, she always looks perfect and she always is always on holiday and she's always got it all together. But nobody is willing to look behind the scene of what is real and what is not, right?
Yeah.
So, I mean, a lot of social responsibility, I feel, also rests on people who post, on the influencers. It's not about the numbers, it's not about the reach. I feel a little more social responsibility needs to come into this life.
I agree with you.
Do you see it happening?
No.
Okay, let's move on. What advice would you give young creators who feel overwhelmed by the pressure to be constantly on?
Learn how to take a pause, learn how to be authentic. Like, pick your field, pick your battles. Like, sometimes you have to tell your audience that, listen, this is not the real me. Like, I think some of them are doing it actively, but majority of them are not. Like, for example, you gave me the example where there's this creator who's just using backdrops and she makes her audience feel that, oh, you know what, I'm traveling, which is not true and which is not right.
Do you think people can see through at times?
Sometimes, yes.
But we've already established that more responsibility is not coming in very soon. So let's move on to your work and let's talk about you. Your work blends creativity with purpose. What inspires you when you sit down to create something meaningful?
I personally think that I've tried to think of a niche and I say that, okay, I'm trying to make something for, let's say, an age bracket. How do I interact with them? Try to first understand what their goals and what they want out of this is. And then move on to saying that, okay, now I create this. It's not, I think a lot of people get it the other way, where they create content and say, okay, now where can I fit
it in?
That's what I would say.
Okay. Has there been any personal experience that taught you the importance of mental health and wellness?
Yes, there have been multiple actually. So when I can talk about like college. So when I was working there, a lot of the times students would come up and you would see them distressed and you would feel their energy and you would feel that something's not right. And then when they actually open up and they're open to the session, you feel their energy when they're leaving. It's completely changed. It's almost like a 180 change where they're more relaxed, they're more energetic. Suddenly they came drained and afterwards they have energy to do anything. And that comes only when you actually accept that, okay, you know what? Something's wrong. I need to do something about it. And wellness is not mental health especially is not a one day change.
It's a journey.
It's a journey. But just willing to take that one step forward is important.
I always say, for change, any kind of change that you want to make, there are 5 steps. There is an awareness of an issue because a lot of us are not even aware that something is wrong. Then comes acceptance. Acceptance that, okay, I have this issue. Okay, some of us may be aware, okay, I am, maybe I am too distracted or I'm feeling too sad. And accepting that, okay, no, this is a problem. It's not just something that is a one-off thing.
Yeah.
Then comes the willingness to do something, as you said, the willingness to do something about it. then is the steps to do to make that change, and then comes the
Exactly.
change. So so as you said, making people aware and accept that they have an issue, and then moving on to taking the steps to get onto that journey. So it's one day or day one, you decide. You decide what you want to do. What does inner alignment mean to you as a young woman who is navigating this chaotic space?
Wow, that's a tough one. I would say the best way I could put it would be trying to find a balance. Because till you don't find your balance, you're never going to be aligned. Nothing's going to be aligned. And you have to just keep at it to the point where sometimes it's okay to say enough. Sometimes it's okay to
say no.
Yeah.
Most important, it's okay to say no. Putting yourself first, I feel. It's not selfish. It's important.
It is.
Because if you cannot be true to yourself, why will anyone else be?
I had this session in college which is what I conducted. It was just called Stop. So we taught a lot of these practitioners that sometimes when things are getting overwhelming, you just have to tell your brain stop. And that's when you actually walk out of what you're doing, take 5 minutes to yourself, and then you decide if you actually want to go back or you want to leave. It's important.
It's interesting you say that, because in cognitive behavioral therapy, the stop red light is a technique that we use, that you actually can either see a stop light or you press that stop button.
That's exactly what we were aiming to do. So we told them that. So we said, okay, when life gets very chaotic, just learn how to walk away take 2 minutes to yourself. No one's going to say anything to you. And that's when you take those 2 minutes, you realize that, okay, do I really need this in me? Is this really beneficial to me? Or am I just dragging myself along?
I think everyone, and I'm not just saying your generation, but everyone should do a Psych 101 where you learn these techniques on how to even manage your own self. I think it's very important. And I think in schools it should be introduced rather than studying, world history or what happened 200, 2000 years ago. Learn how to deal with pressures today, which is why I'm a great advocate for the IB system of education, because it's more meaningful, it's more relevant. I was saying a little while ago, that हमने कौन सा calculus use कर लिया कभी जिंदगी में, but these are life lessons which should be taught to everyone, because not everyone learns them and not everyone understands them. So you guys are the new generation. You're the ones who are going to make the change going forward. So you should take that up. So I'm going to get into a little rapid fire round now, where I'm going to ask you a couple of questions and you tell me whatever comes first to mind. What do you feel is the biggest pressure young people are facing today?
Judgment, social media.
What are you personally unlearning right now?
To be a people pleaser.
Truthful words. Wonderful. What gives you hope when you think of your generation and the world you're helping to build?
Voice what you feel.
Great. A wellness myth young people should stop believing?
Meditation does not mean just close your eyes and say Om.
I love her. One ritual that grounds you instantly?
Going for a swim.
Nice. A piece of advice you would give your younger self at maybe 16 or 15?
Don't please people. They're not always going to stick around.
I say, you're not ice cream, you're not pizza, you can't make everyone happy. There are still some weird people in this world who don't like ice cream and pizza. So, yeah? Okay. One last one. One truth about mental health no one tells you in your early 20s.
Okay. It's okay to be not okay.
Beautiful. Wonderful. Truer words have not been spoken. Thank you, Kay. Thank you so much, Agent Kay, for talking to us and giving us these beautiful insights on the inner shift. She speaks my language, so it was really easy because at times I actually felt these were, are these my words? So I really enjoyed, and I hope that you make that change and you are the voice of change in your generation. And yes, please, you're not pizza, you're not ice cream, you do not need to people please. You will never be able to make everyone happy, so always choose you.
Thank you.
Okay, thank you so much.